Ladies and gentlemen, it is the final night of the 2025 World Finals. We are here in Charlotte, North Carolina at the dirt track. Here's a look at the busy pit area. So many fans are walking around and enjoying this event. Honestly, with me only running this race one time before in 2023 with Shark Racing, I kind of forgot how big the World Finals is and how many people enjoy coming and watching the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, World of Outlaw Late Models, and also the big block modifieds all in one show. So here's a look behind me at the Bu Motorsports number 13 car. We are looking to finish our weekend strong. We've had a lot of fun here. We want to take you up now to give you an up close look at the dirt track. It rained a little bit overnight, so I want to show you kind of what they're dealing with as they're trying to get the surface ready to rock and roll. So here's a look at the racing surface. They're out there with a few tillers right now, just trying to get actually the track opened up. I mentioned it rained overnight, so they had the surface all packed after the races, and basically now they're trying to open it up while the sun's out, get some of the moisture out of the surface. I mean, here's the push-off lane. This might be kind of fun all night long. So yeah, final night of the World Finals. Basically, they take our Thursday and Friday show, how we ran, add up our results, add up our points, and now we are gonna be set in heat races today. The Bu Motorsports team and myself, we've had a little bit of a trying weekend, so we're starting 9th in our heat race, 5th row inside. Where we're at now, we're just trying to make the most of our weekend and again, take all this time as preparation for what we're setting out to do in 2026 and what's ahead, our first weekend together, and build off of it from here. So gonna get suited up here in a minute. We'll be firing up the cars for engine heat and then getting right into the night. Forward. There was only one spot in the heat race, but we did go forward. Started 9th and finished 8th. That was the difference in being in the C main event and the B main event. So that's good because later in the night, the track's just going to keep getting better and better. With us, basically with them changing it and putting the sprint cars out to try to, help the racetrack, get it burned in, and then, maybe the late models or the modifieds would have chunked it out and made it rough, trying to get us to at least get it packed. And in return for us, the track was just so sloppy, wet. We hot lapped, we heat raced, but obviously just about after turn 1 or lap 1, the race is kind of settled in. And it's crazy because when you're in the cushion, you're tight. You gotta be I don't know how to explain it. You just gotta have your car right to be in the cushion, but if you're super free, when you're underneath it, it's almost blowing dust and you're kind of just spinning on top of it. So, Charlotte, this place is just interesting. It really is. Even when it rains like that, yeah, we'll just hopefully see it widen out, and these other classes now running should help. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a longer night. They gotta run through everything, and then we'll be back out for what is the LCS with the Outlaws. Obviously, we have quite a few cars we're gonna need to pass the transfer, but we just get another opportunity to try to keep working on the 13 car and advance forward. So we're getting ready to head out for the B main event. I think we start 11th or 13th. We're on the inside row. Racetrack still has a ton of grip, and even right now, actually, they're a little bit worried about some rain that might be moving into the area. So everyone's in hurry-up mode, and obviously we don't want to see that. That turns into a disaster. So we're getting ready to climb back in for the B. top 4 transfers, so try to make the best run we can here. Obviously, it's all about the same thing all week and getting a good start, and then from there things just play out how they play out. But got to try to time it, whether you can get a row, whether you can get a clean lane, whether you can put yourself in position, try to get off a turn 2, passing cars or with some good momentum, and being on the inside, you know, you just, like I said, just got to do what you got to do. So we're gonna go climb in and try to do everything we can here to advance forward. I feel like once we get going, everyone's gonna probably be around the high side. Again, there's just quite a bit of grip when you're off of it. It is a little bit slick, and then there's just, you know, not a ton on the bottom. There's a little bit of grip down there, but it's just hard to beat the amount of speed you can carry, you know, through the middle or 3/4 of the way up the racetrack. Feature. Everyone's just kind of loading up. I told you guys the rain, it sounds like, might be coming. Well, the best way I could describe it is where everyone kind of started is about where we finished. I think like Tim's was 7th, he ran 7th, Dason was 8th, and I was 9th. And that's kind of the order we all got to start in, because there was a couple scratches. Yeah, I mean, I got a good start, which was obviously the intent, you know, to fire off on the bottom. I was able to almost get by the cars in front of me as they kind of pushed up, you know, maybe caught the grease or caught the grip and kind of drove off the front stretch. I made a good first lap, and then just from there I had a very sloppy, you know, middle part of the race until like the last 3 laps or so. I just got to clean up a few things on these big tracks where, you know, us West Coast guys sometimes get caught with some short track habits, and it's hard to, you know, hard to change those, or they just come out at times, right? And so I definitely could have driven better to maybe, you know, have a spot or two. Obviously it would have been difficult to transfer, but just trying to look at all the fine details of how to be the best, whether it's a B or a C or an A main event. So yeah, that was probably my disappointment there in that lower feature, but it is what it is. So again, got a good start, had a rough, you know, middle part of the race, and then, you know, had a few good laps at the end once I kind of got by myself in a little bit cleaner air. But loading up the 13 car now and just get ready to head out. Like I said, they're trying to finish the features and get everyone done before the weather and all that chaos. But you know, frustrating we didn't make the feature, but you know, learned obviously a lot this weekend. Well guys, the rig's backing out. I'm heading back with them to PA. We'll have an update for you guys soon on everything that's going to be happening next.